It's indeed a privilege for me to join in for this webinar that Lokmanya is co-hosting with us. I have along with me General Mahajan, who is also the Deputy Director of Center for Advanced Strategic Studies, which is based in the University of Pune. As you know, it is one of the first think tanks outside Delhi, and we're very proud that having been established in 1992, we have a number of programs and events that we have taken part in over the years. This particular event is, of course, very important, and at the outset, let me welcome Mr. Salih Hudayar, the Honorable Prime Minister of East Turkestan Government in Exile. He is from, at the moment, in Washington, so good morning to you, sir. Mr. Craig Choi, lawyer by profession, and is a convener of Progressive Lawyer Group. He's from Hong Kong, actually, but at the moment in exile in Washington. So again, a good morning to you, Craig. And Ms. Tashi Chodong, she is in Dharamshala from Tibet Policy Institute. Welcome to you, ma'am. We also have, I think, one of our leading experts in India, and all of you must have seen him many times on televisions. That is Mr. Jayadev Ranade, who will be giving us a keynote address. We also have Namrata Hasija, who will be coordinating the interviews and Q&As with all the speakers. So let me start the ball rolling by saying a few words about this particular dragon in the room. As you know, India and the People's Republic of China started almost the same time. India got independence in 47 and People's Republic of China was formed October 1949. We both, of course, were very friendly because both had suffered from colonization, and that is how I think India was one of the first countries to recognize People's Republic of China. But within 1 year, PRC started showing their colors of expansionism, and they annexed Tibet exactly almost a year after their establishment in October 49. And October 50 they invaded Tibet, and thereafter in June they took over the entire control of Tibet. And thereafter, of course, His Holiness Honorable Dalai Lama had to come to India, and of course we are very enriched by his presence here in Dharamshala. In 62 we suffered again at the expansionist ideas of China in the war that we had. And thereafter, all of you are very aware of that in the recent past, this one belt, one road, or war, or whichever names that people call it by, Chinese are actually expanding their territories by giving debts, making countries indebted, unable to pay back, and then they are taking over, whether it's ports or airports or whether it is any other real estate, for hundreds of years. And these countries are in real dire shape, paying back the interest. It's happening in Pakistan, it's happening in Sri Lanka, it's happening in many other places. And so this, what actually China fought against colonization is actually doing exactly in the reverse. And now we have with us today the Honorable Prime Minister, Salih Hudayar. As you know, we see a number of repressive kind of videos and pictures from the concentration camps, the kind of brutalities that are, on these people who are there in Xinjiang. And of course, I'm sure he will speak more about it. But we really feel bad that these human rights violations are carried on and nobody actually raises much of voice against it. And so is the case with Hong Kong, we notice, and we have got Mr. Craig Choi who will be speaking. We know that there was a treaty and 100 years were yet to be over, but they started off with this so-called national security law. We saw the kind of unrest that is going on, and we really feel bad about this entire thing because it's not the question of democracy, but it's also again the human rights and of course the violations and the kind of repression that they're doing on their own people there. So I'm very glad that we have a speaker all the way from Washington. And then of course, Tashi, I must mention to you that this morning, I just going through some of the alerts, or rather in the evening, and I found there was the person who's in charge of TAR, as they call it, his name is Wu Yangxi from the Communist Party of China. He said that we must defeat the forces of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Of course, he don't say His Holiness, but that is the way he starts off. And then exactly same His Holiness. Look at the difference of the people. Just an hour or two ago, he mentioned good health to Prime Minister Abe of Japan, who is at the moment ailing and is wanting to come down from his office. So look at the kind of personalities that we have across. We're very glad that again from on the Tibetan perspective, we will have Tashi speaking to us. There is one good thing that I must mention, that I think on 20th of January this year, the US Congress has passed a bill about Tibetan policy and support. So I don't know how much traction it will have, but hopefully we will see something happening in the near future.